Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. You asked, and here he is, Elmer Yuen, and he's going to be giving us a 360-degree view of what is happening in China today and where is it headed. So let's welcome Elmer Yuen. Elmer, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Thank you for inviting me. I miss you. It's been such a long time.
Yes, indeed, and it's very mutual. Our viewers have been screaming to hear for you, Elmer. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. So Elmer, let's jump quickly in. It's late in the night for you. What is happening in China? There was a 2-day session, which looks like it was meant nothing, but things are really going downhill fast, aren't they?
I remember maybe a few months ago, I did a program with you, and you asked me something similar. What's happening in China? And I used a simple word, it's bankrupted. The whole country is bankrupted. And that's what I remember. Now,
yes.
I think you need more details. What really, and the whole problem, any bankrupt company or any bankrupt country has one thing in common. Bankruptcy comes from debt, D-E-B-T, right? From debt. You don't go bankrupt without debt. So this country is so heavily indebted, and forget about all their report. It's not true. It's far more than what they reported. Every single person is in debt with this property installment, and now the property price have come down. The bank is asking them to pay up the difference to cover the first installment. So every person is in debt. All the banks are in debt. What happened is everybody put their deposit in the bank, right? Their money in the bank. And the bank has lended them to all sorts of people. For instance, Evergrande, right? You've heard about it. And then there's Country Garden. And then there's 𝗤𝗏𝘅. And then there is 𝗣𝗃𝗁𝗏. All the 100% of the property developers are bankrupted. Because what happened is they all borrow huge amount of money. And then the property were not selling. Remember the COVID? During the COVID, everything stopped. So they all stopped. And then they realized that the property price have dropped. So when the price is dropping, nobody buy. All right. They want to see, oh, maybe tomorrow will be lower. Why don't I wait? And this is a very vicious thing. So what happened is all the property developers are bankrupted. So as a result, the money they owe to the bank are not being repaid. So banks are literally bankrupted. And property developers are only one very big borrower, one industry, a very big industry borrower. Think about the rest. Local government, much bigger than the property developers. And what about the high-speed train, the airport, the airlines, the hotels, and then whatever you think about, all the state companies, and then all the public companies, all the private companies, everybody borrow money, right? Including the government departments. Let's say the military. The militaries are borrowing so much. So everybody's on a borrow basis. So where did the money come from? From banks. Banks are bankrupted, but they are not declaring it. What happened to the Evergrande? Because the creditor enforced the debt in Hong Kong. So even the Hong Kong normally is 1 week. If you cannot pay, they will declare you liquidate your company in 1 week. But then this, because of the influence, national security law and so on. So in Hong Kong, they allow it to drag for almost 2 years. So finally, they declare liquidation, and it's over. But in China, they still don't let it drag. The courts, because they are all political. So what really happened is the whole country is in bankruptcy. All right, but the make it a better economic term, it's a Great Depression. In the 1929, at the Great Depression, 25% of the people lost their jobs, unemployed. But right now in China, 50%. 50% is very serious. I wouldn't be surprised if people are committing suicide left, right, and center, and then starving to death. I'm talking about the farmers especially, because they don't have any unemployment benefits. All the construction sites were actually staffed by the farmers, and all the factories workers were also the women from the farm. And now all the factories are closed, no orders, so they went back to their country home, and the male and female, and they have elderly to support and children to support. And this is a very serious matter. In the old days, when China changed its dynasty, is because the farmers were starving, not because of the intellectuals. It's nothing to do with the ideology. When the peasants are starving, that's where revolution start, rebellion and revolution start. And I think right now China is at that stage. So forget about them attacking anybody. They don't have the money, the strength, and yet they have to keep on supporting Russia, and also their African what do you call African brothers. But it's over. There's not enough money. That's why you don't see Xi Jinping travel anymore, because whenever he can travel, he has to pay. Sorry, you go ahead.
Elmer, you mentioned that Evergrande has finally liquidated. Has this something to do with the death of Angela Chao, the sister-in-law of this guy? Mitch McConnell?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's people, the Angela Chao so-called criminal investigation is still going on. So,
yes.
But she was a director, independent director for Bank of China, and
yes.
She was the chairman. She was the chairman for the loan approval committee. All right, and she, which is a very important position. So what happened is, Evergrande went to Bank of America and asked for a loan for $100 billion, $100 billion US dollars, and Bank of America said, "You are not the U.S. company. You're China or Hong Kong company. We need some bank guarantee, or at least some backups." So that's why Evergrande went to Bank of China and asked them to, maybe there's a different level of acknowledgement. Could be co-guaranteed. Something to do. But you're obligated. Once you sign something like that, a bank whenever signs it. So Bank of China, with her approval, with Angela Chao's approval, signed the okay. And of course, Bank of China is obligated. And you don't know, in China, the corruption, you cannot believe. Evergrande, the standard rule, whenever they receive a loan from the bank, the kickback to the bank official is about 30%.
30%.
That's the rule of thumb. But Angela Chao is American, 50-year-old American business women, no experience. They've never in such kind of situation, so she probably didn't get anything. But the Bank of China CEO, they got a huge. That's why they were fired, and she had to resign because she had the approval. In fact, they really played this thing on her. I mean, this poor girl. But overall, her death is another matter. It's not directly related to Evergrande. Her family, her father, her sister, and her brother-in-law, Mitch McConnell, the whole family have been living on China. China had been feeding them for the last 30 years, since 1992. All right, they gave them all the iron ore shipping business from Brazil. Give him the money to buy all the ships built in China for shipping the iron ore. All right, China, before Australia, China used to buy most of their iron ore from Brazil. You're famous. Brazil used to be famous, and the father makes so much money because of that. The money and the reason, of course, the father promoted to Jiang Zemin that her daughter is married to a senator, a U.S. Republican senator, and the senator is becoming very powerful. So altogether, the father made the money and then as a gift to the son-in-law and the daughter for 25 million US dollars. And you know how much, if you how much influence you can buy on $25 million. That's why Mitch McConnell became the head of the Senate in GOP. This is the whole story. So the whole family's reputation, power, and money was all custom designed by the Chinese. So that's what. And then, but they are getting old. Elaine Chao and Mitch McConnell are getting old. As you know, you saw Mitch McConnell was stiff, standing stiff twice.
Yes.
So they are trying to develop the next generation, which is Angela Chao and Jim 𝗼𝗃𝗿. All right, and they tried to develop, and Jim 𝗼𝗃𝗍 became very powerful. They established a $1 billion fund for him, called the IDG. All right, and to buy US
IDG Capital, right?
IDG Capital, to buy US to invest in US companies and in Chinese companies, and he has his own fund also. He's been a big investor, of course, originally Facebook, and then he was very heavy into Xiaomi in China, many investment. So the Chinese are trying to grow him into a very successful person. So he become the thousand person head of the 1,000 person, and then advisory committee chairman for the Tsinghua University. Very powerful. But unfortunately, US start investigating. So the Pentagon and the FBI, CIA, all invest. So he's under investigation. That's why he's been very, very quiet. You don't see one word from me. You don't hear one word from him. So he wants out. Already at Davos, he said, we're not going to invest anymore. And then on the 9th of February, he said, if for the coming 18 months, he's not going to invest anymore in China. He wants out. He's American, he's an American, a patriotic American, and he wants out. But the family tried to pull him back. So there's a conflict, huge conflict between Angela Chao and Jim 𝗼𝗃𝗍𝗏. And I think the death has something to do. I'm not sure. Still not enough facts. The local police are playing game. All right, they've been bought, so they're switching their position. They call it an auto accident, and then they call criminal investigation, and then they backtrack again. So it's still a lot of information is going to come out. So 𝗑𝗪𝗍𝗍 have been speaking for Jim 𝗼𝗃𝗍𝗏. Jim 𝗼𝗃𝗍 couldn't make any statement because he was under investigation. So all these Twitter message you hear from 𝗑𝗪𝗍𝗍, in fact, came from Jim 𝗼𝗃𝗍𝗏. Yes.
Yeah, so viewers, what Elmer is referring to is a Twitter handle that I also frequently look at. It is at J as in John, 𝗂𝗪𝗍𝗍𝗏, B as in boy, ASS. Now, what 𝗠𝗪𝗍 has said, and I'll repeat this for this conversation because it sets the context. He was the first one to say, look, there is video footage of Angela Chao backing her powerful Tesla over an obstruction into a pond, and the Tesla sank and she drowned with it. Then they got the car out. They have performed the autopsy, but the results have been withheld. They have all the samples. Now the question is, why did she do what she did? That's the thing. And I think you've actually connected a very important dot here. I was wondering, why is 𝗠𝗪𝗍𝗍 so interested in talking about this incident? And you have connected the dot. Elmer, this is the 2-for-1 kind of a conversation. We are getting to know more about the death of Angela, as well as the finally retirement of Mitch McConnell. I mean, this guy would just not go. And I can understand why. He is controlling so many things. So let's wait and see how this thing plays out. Clearly, I think it takes an Indian American and a Hong Kong Japanese Chinese person to come out with the truth on what really is happening here. So just let's move on back to our main topic, which is China. Kinmen Island. You and I you were sitting in Kinmen Island and we had a hangout and you explained what Kinmen Island was. In fact, there's a big painting of Chiang Kai-shek pointing towards mainland. Remember that conversation we had?
Oh, Kinmen, yes, I was there. I deliberately
Yes.
go there. And this is,
Yes.
they are so close to 𝗏𝗏.
6 miles.
From the
Yeah.
water, you can almost see all the buildings on the other side. So, but right now, I think what happened is China wants to grab those two islands. One is called Kinmen, and then the other one is called I forgot the name of it. But anyway, there are two islands very close to China mainland, much closer to mainland than to Taiwan. So what happened is China is creating all these incidents, all right, trying to interfere with their islands and then the tourist ships. So American already sent their special troops onto the island. So it's a very serious situation right now. And also the same thing is happening in the Philippines. China is stirring up the things in the Philippines, and the Filipino used to be very peaceful, of course. Now that they have 100% backup by the American in all these Filipino U.S. bases, so the Filipino are taking very strong action. So those two could be the cause of war in the Pacific.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But otherwise, talk to us a little bit about how your effort to try and getting the Hong Kong initiative off the ground. Can you give us an update on that? Because I think a lot of people who love democracy would like to know. You've been tireless. 3 years now, I think we've known each other. You've been at it, constantly touring and setting things up. Where do things stand now, Elmer?
Now, first of all, as you know, there's a warrant for my arrest, and there's a 1 million Hong Kong dollar bounty for my arrest. So I can't go to China or anywhere, the country like Pakistan. I wouldn't dare to go because they can enforce the warrant. Countries like Laos or Cambodia, they would listen. They would like to arrest me and hand me over to CCP. So, but anyway, the reason they are so serious about me is because of this Hong Kong Parliament. Hong Kong Parliament, as you can, what I'm doing is going to be an elected Parliament, all right? Universal suffrage, elected Parliament, 1 man, 1 vote. And what I'm doing is I've been traveling a lot to Taiwan. I've been to Taiwan last year for almost 10 times. We are writing the software in Taiwan so that you can use your mobile phone and your passport. The mobile phone can read the chip in your passport, and you can scramble that and then to vote. So when you use that kind of scrambling, they cannot trace who the voter was, all right? Because if you vote, actually the communists can say that you are violating the national security law or the Article 23 that's being rushed through right now. So it's very serious. So we will be testing this software at the end of this month. So I'm going back to Taiwan tomorrow, and they're scared. The communists are scared of two things. One is people getting organized, because a lot of people, they are, let's say, 94 million Communist Party members, but in China, there are these billion people. So they know the difference. So the other thing they're afraid of is the truth. If you broadcast the truth, they are scared. So I'm working on another project also on using AI to convert text document, a lot of very good writing, into videos, and speaking in Chinese. So that right now, of course, China control all the media. And even outside China, the media are not being fair. They don't report most of the stuff that, for instance, that we are talking about. So I'm trying to create a AI type of news in Chinese. There are altogether about 100 million overseas Chinese outside China. We're catering for them. That's what I'm doing. So very, very busy.
Thank you so much for the update, Elmer. More power to you, bro. And this will be something that everybody can look at and say, wow, these guys figured out a way to vote from their mobile phone. That's something that is very, very needed in today's day and age, because getting somebody to come to a polling booth and doing that stuff, it's getting just too long, especially in cities where it is a lot of crowded. It's difficult to come and vote and go. So I'll be watching this very, very keenly, Elmer, and anytime my platform is open to you. If you want to address people from all over the world of Hong Kong origin or any other messaging, my platform is available for you as always. Great friendship between the two of us, and all the best to you. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.
Thank you for inviting me. Goodbye. See you soon.